Here's why I think scientifically, as a Christian, the earth looks like this and not like this. Not just biblically, but scientifically. Back in 2003, there were scientists from Texas State University and Arizona State University that wanted to see if Kansas was flatter than a pancake. They measured the pancake to be 0.957% flatness, and Kansas was 0.9997% flat, which to them was damn flat. So when you realize Kansas isn't even the first flattest state we have, it's only number 7, then you start to realize that if Florida down here and Delaware over here are both flatter than Kansas, South Dakota, and North Dakota over there, that must mean half of the United States is fully flat, which would not work on a globe. Now here's a picture of Chicago from Lake Michigan, 53 miles away. And it's not just that picture, you can just see it whenever you want to, just like in this photo. And this, doesn't matter where you are, you can still see Chicago. So when using a Earth curvature calculator, you can see that there's a hidden distance of 1,667 feet, meaning anything under that is not supposed to be seen. By the way, I'm not 6 foot, I am just giving the globe the benefit of the doubt. So when you follow that straight line across your eye vision, anything that's past this horizon, physical horizon, the curve, should not be able to be seen because your eye vision is cut off by the curvature. And then on top of that, anything above this line right here should be hidden by a physical curve, which it is not. We can see it's not because the tallest building in Chicago is 1,400 feet tall and the antennas make it 1,729 feet tall, meaning anything under that should be hidden, but we can see the whole city from sea level. This is how NASA and scientists tell us the stars should look when flying in a plane. They should be falling downwards because we're going around a curve, appearing to fall downwards, and it should look like this. But this is what we see in real life. This is a video of a pilot driving across the world, and none of the stars are dipping downwards as we're passing all these different countries and we're going across the Atlantic Ocean. That makes zero sense. See how we're still moving? We've passed multiple miles of curvature, and yet nothing has changed or dipped down or curved. And if you look up why, they'll tell you it's light refraction, which is a rainbow. So this rainbow is somehow curving light over the curvature and then looking exactly the same to everybody who's different heights. But that's not how light refraction works, so that makes no sense. They tell us that boats will sail over the curve and be hidden after a certain amount of time. So according to them, there should be no boat over here because obviously it went over the curve, right? But that obviously isn't the case because here we can see the boat appearing. So obviously it's just the fact that our eyes blend the boat within the horizon because our eye resolution is only 1 arc minute, which is 1.512 miles, I think. So once you have that distance, anything within that atmosphere is just going to blend in together. That's what a horizon is. Do you think the ocean and the sky are touching right now? No, they're just blending in together. Also, I'm not able to link the exact original study of the Kansas article because, of course, it got taken down, like everything that does with flat Earth.
Well, I can explain, or I can show an experiment, actually a demonstration why things return back to net zero, back to the equilibrium, is because of density. This is more dense than the air around it. Check this out. I put cooking oil. You see that cooking oil is more dense. It's gone there at the bottom of this glass. Is more dense than the medium in it that is in. It's just to add in water. You see that water is at the bottom of the cooking oil, right? The cooking oil is less dense than the water there. So density explains why things actually go down. And this is actually buoyant, the ability to float, right? It's easy as that. There is no gravity here. And Grobers will claim that there is the G in a buoyance formula, right? And Archimedes' principle, right, was discovered or founded before gravity, right? So 300 BCE. So here it states that Archimedes' principle states that a body immersed in a fluid is subjected to an upwards force equal to the weight of the displaced fluid. There's no gravity there. This was discovered, this was implemented whilst gravity was not there. Let that sink in. Now here's an extra thing, just an observation away from gravity, just to explain. Look at this pencil, how the medium works, right? This is just something to add on. You see, that's refraction there. That's the real refraction. Okay, just to add on this is another topic though. Okay, but this is real refraction right here. Okay, this is real refraction, not a boat, not something coming up from the curvature, right? No, that's not refraction there. This is real refraction there. All right.
You know what's strange is that the further north you go, the higher a rainbow will arc. I mean, this guy literally has to pan up because of the height of this rainbow. I wonder why that is. Do you know why that is? Here's just an example of what I'm talking about. When you travel just several hundred miles south of New York to Melbourne, Florida, not Australia, you see the arc of that rainbow seems to be much longer and flatter. And thanks to the Nature Channel, since apparently none of us are allowed to actually go explore Antarctica without being on a guided tour and spending thousands and thousands of dollars, they provided us with a nice, really flat rainbow down south, as far south as you can go. Now, I wonder what in Earth could be causing this. It's almost like we have some sort of protective dome over us, and the closer you are north in the center, the higher that dome would be above your head. And the further south you go to Antarctica, the closer that dome would be to the ground. It's kind of like this wine glass, which is taller and more narrow at the top and produces a taller, more arced reflection. Yet when you get to the outskirts, it's really low and wide reflection. Strange. Do you ever notice how rainbows aren't round all the time? Kind of like they take on the shape of the medium that they are shining through. Well, what's that medium that they're shining through outside that we see a rounded rainbow all the time? Again, it's almost like there's some sort of rounded medium above us. Strange. A medium that when the timing is right, aka the April 8th eclipse, you can actually see through that medium to the actual sun that is projecting to the sun we see. But Tyler, we live on a globe. It's just the curve of the earth and the different parts of north and south that are creating this different arc. Well, how come the further south you go, the lower it gets, and the further north you go, the higher it gets? If you're going to two opposite ends of a ball, shouldn't they do the same thing? Think about it. And think about how the only way I could reproduce a curved rainbow in my house was with a curved surface. What's curved outside? But of course, this is all for entertainment purposes. I know that this is just something that crazy conspiracy theorists believe, and we live on a spinning ball, and I evolved from a chimp.
What do we have here? Let's put on the old truth finders. Yep, pretty easy to spot here. 3,000 years old? Come on, man. Just stop already with the subliminal messages. We know you are 3,000 years old. We get it. You are from the Nephilim bloodline. We get it. You got that fallen angel bloodline. They put it right in front of our faces, guys. Just so they can all sit back and have a nice chuckle. Well, it ain't funny. And none of us are laughing. But you know who is going to get the last laugh? This guy right here. I suggest you repent and give your life to Christ before it's too late.
Hypothetically speaking, if you were to get in a helicopter, fly it up, let's say, 10,000 feet into the air, and then just sit in that helicopter for a solid 15 hours, you would be on the other side of the world. Or, the other argument is that the atmosphere is actually moving with our globe. So if you sat in your helicopter for a solid 24 hours, then you would land back in the same spot. But did you know that if you sit in your helicopter for 15 hours, while 10,000 feet in the air, and you land back down, you will still land in the exact same spot? So is the Earth actually rotating? And is all the atmosphere rotating with the Earth? Is that really possible if we have all of these different wind currents, hurricanes, tornadoes? There's so much going on in the sky that it doesn't really make sense to say that all of the atmosphere is simultaneously moving at the same exact speed as the globe. But of course, I was making all of this up, even though plenty of amateur real footage shows that I could not be making this up. But that was a double negative. I am making this up. And this was for entertainment purposes only.
A lot of people have been asking me lately how the seasons work on a flat earth, so I'm going to show you. But first, I'm going to show you how they don't work on the globe religion. So according to the heliocentric model, they say the sun is 109 times the diameter of the earth, and you could fit 1.3 million Earths inside the sun. They say we get our seasons due to the Earth's 23.4 degree tilt that they can't prove. There's a thing called the inverse square law of light, and it basically says how light spreads out over distance and loses its intensity over a distance. So here's the UV index of the Earth, and we see how the UV is strongest along the equator and between the tropics. So according to the inverse square law of light and the size they give us of the sun compared to the Earth, how will we get the UV index greatest along the equator? I'd like for someone to demonstrate that for me in reality, because it doesn't work. It's almost like the sun shooting a laser beam on our little tiny Earth. They also say the sun is 3.4% closer in the winter. So the sun is closer, but we have winter. So we have winter and the sun is 3.4% closer, but the closest point to the sun would be the equator, the furthest would be the poles, and the difference in distance is 0.00004%. And to take it a step further, I go back and forth from New Jersey to Florida a lot, and it could be really hot here and freezing here. And the difference between there is 0.00008%. Literally negligible. So the only way the seasons work in reality is on a flat earth with a smaller, more local sun that moves between the Tropic of Cancer for the summer solstice to the Tropic of Capricorn 6 months later for the winter solstice. And that's why we have the greatest UV index along the equator and between the tropics, because the sun is a smaller, more local light that goes around us like a clock. So when the sun springs up past the equator for the spring equinox, it's spring, and when the sun falls down past the equator, it's fall. So either the sun is shooting a laser at the little teeny tiny Earth that's tilted, wobbling, spinning, orbiting, doing all these tricks in fake space, or the sun is a much smaller, more local light, the Earth is stationary, and the sun and all the other luminaries in the sky were put there for us, and they go around us like a clock. The heliocentric model is sun worship. Helios was a Greek sun god. Not everything revolves around the sun. The Earth is the center of everything. We're special, and the luminaries in the sky were put there for us, for signs, seasons, days, and years. We live in a perfect clock and calendar. The globe is unalived. Rip globe. I'd like to ask everyone to join me, and let's take a moment of silence for the globe. Rest in pieces. Oh, and this was just for entertainment purposes only. We all know we live on a spinning, wobbling, tilted, orbiting space ball, flying through infinite, ever-expanding vacuum of space. This is only TikTok. Don't take anything I say serious.
Which one is it? Can we go to Antarctica whenever we want? Because if that was the case, then, like I said, there should be tons of videos of the 24-hour sun. Or do we have to go on a little tour there with the guide? We have to stay in line, and we can't just go do whatever we want. Which one is it? You can't have it both ways.
So there was a marathon there, so like you need accommodations. You can't just charter a plane and land in the middle of nowhere. I mean, you can if you're insane, but like nobody's doing that. You'll die. So like you can go there. Like my cousin's friend went there for a marathon he got back, I don't know, 5-6 days ago. I haven't talked to him about it. I intend to, but like, yeah, he was just there. I mean, unless. I mean, literally what it would take. Like, I see your model, I see the flat, and I hear the logic, I hear it all, and I hear it and I get it. But, like, if there is a sun that's fully visible, then, like, all your logic about, like, the sun's distance can only be seen from so far away, that will all come to pieces when you see the sun for 24 hours.
That's what
no, but, like...
It would be hard to
Fred,
explain, but it wouldn't change the shape of the Earth. The Earth is immeasurably flat. Consumer technology has surpassed the globe model in 2024. There's no going back. We could see 60 suns in the sky in the middle of July, do a backflip in a circle again. Guess what? The floor is still flat no matter what the sky does. So it's not going to change anything. I think Caleb mentioned that earlier. It's not going to change a thing. We can measure large bodies of water. We can contrast, like Enoch has said, long distance, infrared telescopes, radar is the next thing, right? And if we can verify that there's no 8 inch per mile squared curve, simple enough. What does that mean?
In a skilled debater. I'm not saying
I'm
the
not
Earth
the
is
best
flat.
debater, and I would crush you.
Yeah. No, Fred, you were pure entertainment value.
I'm not Fred, bro.
You're Fred. You're Fred to me.
Yeah,
It's not Fred,
you're
by the way.
delusional is what you are.
I wouldn't be here if that was Fred. I can't stand Fred.
But anyway,
You don't know where you're at. You don't know who you're talking to. You don't know up and down, bro.
are you like, okay, so I recognize your voice. Maybe I got your name wrong. You're a preacher. You've been a preacher your whole life.
Not my whole life, no.
Most of your life. I mean, I follow you.
33.
I got your name wrong. Thought you were Fred. You're the Hulk guy,
You can't say
right?
and you can't hear either.
I guess
That's why
I
you should do
can't
it
see
globally.
and I can't hear.
Bro.
It's too bad, because I heard
and start leading. Go ahead, Rip.
Fabulous knows Globies I could hear the curve.
Yeah. Have you heard
No, I haven't heard it. It must be flat if I haven't heard the curve.
It's gotta be.
That makes sense.
It sounds
More
like
evidence.
flatulence.
More flat earth evidence, because y'all don't have any.
Yeah,
Yeah. Anyway, but hey, I appreciate the talk. You know, I
Hey,
do.
is
Like I
your
said, I've been
brother
following
older
this
than
for.
you? Is your brother older than you or younger?
He's like a year and a half older. That doesn't mean anything.
Does he like
so
does
this-
your
It came in the mail and y'all are opening it with me. Ooh. Smell it. Woo! Here we go.
The Flat Earth map dates back over 1,000 years. This map is credited to being created by a Persian astronomer. His name was Al-Biruni, and he lived between 973 AD to 1048 AD. It's the official map of the United Nations and also the United States Geological Survey. It used to be present in many places before the creation of NASA and the Antarctic Treaty in 1959. Here you see it with Admiral Byrd. This map has been restored by Dmitry from Russia with suggestions of mine, Idialenkar. Known by my YouTube channel Flat Earth Banjo, I asked Dmitry to include the Bermuda Triangle and Point Nemo, a place deep in the Pacific where NASA buries rockets. Then Robert Tozzi, a professional mapmaker, came along and enhanced the map even more. There are many people now selling this map online, but if you could order it from my online store, I would greatly appreciate it. Visit my online store now and order one of the items. I humbly thank you.